What up, YouTube? This is Draw Ya back with another video. I appreciate the brothers out there who told me my microphone was down. I just got this new mic, so I hope this sounds better. Uh, so we're going to talk about how the Canaanite religion has affected women, and particularly the so-called Black women and the Black feminist movement. But many brothers have a lot of problems in relationships today, and one of the main reasons is because the modern westernized woman has embraced the Canaanite religion, whether that's subconsciously or consciously. And when we say the Canaanite religion is one of the many greatest cultures in the history of the world, but it's not really known about, it's not really talked about. And when we talk about Canaanite religion, it's really the westernization, what we think of today is really just is a new version of Hellenization. And for you brothers who know about history and the Bible, and the scripture talks about how Alexander the Great and his progeny, or his ancestor Antiochus the Fourth, Epiphanes the Fourth, how he spread Hellenization, especially on our people, in the Book of Maccabees. But with Alexander the Great, or Alexander Macedonia, he spread Hellenization through the known world at the time, from the areas of Greece to Ethiopia to India, and in between. And so what we get with now, a lot of these women are embracing that culture, which is about self-worship, pansexuality, feminism, really do what you want to do, and just the many different versions of worshiping the pagan gods. So we see this right here in this photo, how the so-called Black woman has united herself with the so-called westernized Caucasian woman in regards to the feminist movement. This to the left is Gloria Steinem, and to the right is Dorothy Pittman Hughes back in the 1970s. And Gloria Steinem was actually a CIA operative who was implanted and to help put the battery into the back of the so-called Black women in the 1970s to help execute the Black feminist movement. And she actually helped write a book, or I think she ghost wrote the book called the Myth of the Black Superman, and or something like that, Black Superman or Superwoman, something like that. But she was the one that created that title, or that phrase that, I don't need no man, I can do all bad by myself type stuff. And it really prompted a lot of so-called Black women to choose to leave their man in order to get government assistance, and or to go into the workforce and be a glorified single mother. And it really started in the 1970s, and it's been propagated since then, so about 50 going on 60 years. So we're going to talk about how the Canaanite religion has affected the woman, the modern woman, and what that really entails. And as you see with this fist in the air, that comes from the Canaanite religion. So let's go into it. So this is a depiction of Anath, the war goddess. Now, this is Anath is the consort of Baal in the pagan mythology of the Canaanites. And whenever they have a mother goddess, or a depiction of the mother goddess, she always has the war aspect, or the destruction aspect, and also has the love aspect, or the sexuality aspect. So Anath was you see right here, the daughter of El and Asherah. She was the consort of Baal Hadad. And you see right there in the picture, she has her fist in the air. And the depiction says a bronze figurine of Anath wearing a Tef crown with arm raised, originally holding an axe or club, dated 1400 to 1200 BC, found in Syria. And so this is where that Black power fist comes from. This you have depictions of Baal with the same pose, and Anath with the same thing. They were the god. They were the god and goddesses of war, or thunder, or destruction, chaos, really. And this is what a lot of women have embraced. When we talk about women having spirits on them, or demons on them, this is the entity that they're embracing, the mother goddess entity, the goddess of war. And that's why it's so easy for them to destroy. A lot of women They believe that their strength comes from destruction, and women are very strong. Women can withhold and do a lot of things, do things that men can't do, and vice versa. But the woman has been trained to embrace her destruction aspect rather than her ability to maintain, to use her 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 intrinsic ability to have this fuel for chaos, but in order to destroy, not use the chaos to build. Like for example, when you make a cake, you have a lot of ingredients all over the place, and you put it together, it looks like a chaotic mess. But when it's done appropriately, the chaos turns into something beautiful, like a cake or a pie or a meal. That's the same way the woman has the ability to make something into something beautiful, something special when she's used in proper order. But the woman has been trained not to respect order and to just do whatever she feels right, especially in the Western society. So let's read a little bit about Anath or Anatu, Anath, Hebrew, Canaanite, Bulgaric, Greek, Egyptian, is a major Northwest Semitic goddess. So you see all these different regions and cultures, they all venerate the same goddess, but they just had a different type of name for them. But it was all the same person, or it goes back to the same person in history. Her attributes vary widely among different cultures and over time, and even within particular myths, she likely heavily influenced the character of the Greek goddess Athena. Now, you know, in the book of Acts, it talks about Athena. It talks about her, I believe, and she was in, I think, Acts chapter 19, around that place, where the church or the city of Ephesus, they worship the statue of Athena. In Rome, they call her Diana. Diana means divine. So that was the mother goddess of that time. She was the mother goddess of war. She was the sister of Artemis, and she was the war goddess. And that's the where we get the goddess of independence, because she was able to hunt and train and fight on her own. That's where a lot of these superhero characteristics, they come from, that type of aspect. Diana, Athena, Anath, they all come from that. But it's the warrior goddess. But also she had a sex altar to her. But mostly that the sex altar was Astaroth. That was Anath's mother. But Anath took on more of the independent aspect. But it's funny how, you know, you see a lot of women who you may have seen, like the mother. You may have dated a girl. Her mother was kind of out there, like kind of doing her thing, and she may have had, you know, different children by different men, but she raises her daughter to kind of be super independent. Or even the mother may have been a mother and a wife, but she raises her daughter to be independent. And that's why I say that's why the spirit is very pervasive out here. Oh, it's very pervasive out here. Pervasive out here. And we have to be careful what we get ourselves into. We got to, you know, take our time with these women, because they've all been indoctrinated by this mother goddess entity, and different in different ways, and they don't understand that. They almost think it's a part of their personality. That's why, as men, as we strive to be men of the Most High, we have to be able to understand a woman so we can help heal her from herself. This is another depiction of Anath. This is her holding her right fist in the air, holding a looks like a broken sword. She has the shield, looks like a six-pointed, like a triangle, with her breast shown out. So, and that she has that sexual aspect, but also that warrior aspect. And you know, it's, you brothers out here doing your thing. You might meet a chick out here that, you know, she looks very attractive, but at the same time, you know, things can turn left real quick. And you know, that's that spirit of the North. That's that spirit of the warrior goddess. She's the warrior goddess of love and war. You know, as far as, like, you know, a lot of these relationships, they become so tumultuous because they come off as so loving at first, and then they end up in destruction. Like, as far as like that makeup breakup mentality that comes from the mother goddess, is as easy as she is to fall in love with you, as easy as she is to destroy the relationship. And that's what I say. A lot of women, they think their strength comes from destruction. They think it's comes from destruction of their relationship, like either divorce or just leaving a man, or destruction of their fetus and abortion. That's why it's like the woman has to be trained in order to know her true beauty, and her true power is in maintaining a family. And this is just a chart I found. A goddesses of fertility, love, and war. And you see right here in the beginning is Venus. Um, and then and the dotted lines after that, you see Ishtar, Inanna. So Ishtar was the Sumer, Akkadian, Babylonian, Assyria. Inanna was Syria, Anatolia, Babylonia, Phoenicia, Inuit, Babylonia, Antu, Babylonian, Akkadian Empire. You see a knot in all the black. It's Maurice, Garrett, or Garrett is another way for like the Amorite language. Canaan, Egypt, Astarte, Canaan, Egypt, Phoenicia, Anat Yahoo, Anatus, Greece. So you see all these different names venerated in different cultures, but they all represent the same entity, the goddess of fertility, goddess of love, goddess of war. And she just had different aspects and personality traits depending on the culture, depending on the story that you're telling. But they're all talking about the same person. And we know in history that's Semiramis, in the historical records, but also referencing the Eve, because Eve was worshipped with Adam as the quote unquote liberators of mankind. They were the enlightened ones who were free from the quote unquote oppression of the Most High. That's why when we get the churches, they say that the law is binding, or the law constricts us, because these modern day Sunday Christian churches, they really believe that the law is sin, and that they say quote unquote Christ freed us from the law, because they are invigorating the spirit of Lucifer and Satan, that because Satan freed quote unquote freed Adam and Eve from the Most High's law by allowing them to break it. So the same way these modern day churches they're convincing the people that Christ freed us from the law, so we don't have to do it anymore, because it's constrictive, it's binding, it's sinful. And that's why I like it. But that's all part of the mystery of iniquity, using the scriptures in order to get people to adhere to the Babylonian Kemetic mystery system, or the Canaanite religion, really just to follow into Satan. But that's why it's on us to understand how to combat that. Because, like I said, a lot of women, they get caught up in the mother goddess worship. A lot of men are caught up in the mother goddess worship. What we have to do is stay caught up in the Most High and His Son, and do what He wants us to do, and not what the world expects us to do. We have to overcome that. And the first thing we have to do is overcome the woman, how she's been programmed. And, we can't fall for those tricks. We can't get involved in those missteps. Do I have anything else? Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm gonna have some more videos about the Canaanite religion, how it's influenced the world, because it's a lot to it. It's not just we read it in scripture. We read about like the laws in Leviticus and Deuteronomy about what the Canaanites do, but they do a lot in regards to what they're doing right now in modern culture. Because when we read the scripture, that the scriptures condemn us doing some of these practices like pansexuality, and eating certain foods, and witchcraft, and talking to the dead, and things like that. And but this is what the Canaanites were doing, and as you see in society, they're promoting them heavily today, and that's why they are trying to reinvigorate the Canaanite religion on full force, and that includes the topic about abortion today. So that's all I got right now. I'll get him out with another video later. Y'all like it, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate it. Peace.